So good day everyone. My name is Glenn Michael Libastibol Singh. My topic is all about human flourishing. Introduction. Eudaimonia, literally good-spirited, is a term coined by renowned Greek philosopher Aristotle to describe the pinnacle of happiness that attainable by human. Aristotle, human flourishing arises a result of different components such as promises, friendship, wealth, and power. In the ancient Greek society, they believed that acquire these qualities will surely bring the seeker happiness, which is effect allowed to partake in a greater nation of what we call good. So, human flourishing means good-spirited, happiness, or good. Eudaimonia is a proper of one's life considered as a whole. Flourishing is the highest good of human endeavors and towards which all action aim. It is success as a human being, the best life of one excellent human activity. For Aristotle, good is what is good for purposeful, good-directed entities. He defines a good proper to human being as an active which is life function specific to human being, are most fully realized. For Aristotle, the good of each species is teleological, immanent to the species. A person nature as a human being provide him with a guidance with respect to how he should live his life. A fundamental fact of human nature is the existence of individual human being, each with his own rational mind and free will. The use of one's volitional consciousness is a person's directly capacity and means of survival. Eudaimonia is formally eugistic in that person not have reason for choosing particular actions stem from idea that he must pursue his own good or flourishing. Because self-interest is flourishing. The good human conduct connected to self in action of person. Good means good for the individual moral agent. Science, technology, and human flourishing. Human flourishing involves the rational use one's individual human personalities includes talents, abilities, and virtues in pursuit of his fairly and rational choosing values and goals. Science and technology must be treated as a part of human life that need reflective and meditative thinking. So, science and technology and human flourishing is ang pag-usbong ng mga tao na nasangkot sa paggamit ng bawat individual na potensyal ng tao. So, kabilang dito ay ang kakayahan sa paghabol ng kanyang malaya at napiling layunin. Science at technology ay dapat turutuhin bilang bahagi ng tao na nangangailangan mapanindim at mapagnilay-nilay na pag-iisip. Scientific method. This scientific method is essential step-by-step process that a researcher can follow to determine if there is some type of relationship between two or more variables. Psychologists and other social scientists regularly propose explanation for human behavior. On a more informal level, people make judgment about what intention, motivation, and action of their own daily basis. So, scientific method ito ay isang pamaraan na mahalaga sa isang proseso na dapat ay sunod-sunod na maaaring sundin ng isang manaliksik. Step of scientific method. Step 1. Make an observation. Before a researcher can begin, they must choose the topic to study. Once an area and interesting has been chosen, the researcher must must then conduct a thorough review for existing literature on the subject. This review will provide valuable information about what has already been learned about the topic that was question remain to be answered. So, step 1 is make an observation. So, bagong lahat magsimula ang isang panaliksik ay dapat pumili muna ng isang paksa na pag-aralan. So, that is the step 1 is make an observation. Step 2, ask question. Once a researcher has observed something and gained some background information on the topic, the next step is a ask question. The researcher will be a hypothesis, which is an educated guess about relationship between two or more variables. In order to formulate a good hypothesis, it is important to think about different questions you might have about particular topic. You should also consider how could investigate the causes. Falsificability is an important part of valid hypothesis. Is other word if hypothesis is false. This need to be way to for scientists to demonstrate that it is false. So step 2 is ask question. So ito ang hakbang na maaari kang magtanong. Halimbawa, kung ano ang dapat gawin o magtanong sa kapwa maliksi kung tama ba ang nakalap ng impormasyon. Tapos, pagtapos ka na sa ask question, ay kung tapos ka na magtanong o ask question, ay pupunta na sa step 3. Ito ay test your hypothesis and collect data. Once you have a solid hypothesis, the next step is the scientific method is to put this hunch at the test by the collecting data. The exact method used to investigate a hypothesis depends on exactly what is being studied. There is two basic forms of researcher that psychologists might utilize: the descriptive research of experiment research. So step 3 is kung ano ang nakalap mong balita ay dapat mo nang kolektahin. At i-test kung tama ba ang nakalap mong mga impormasyon. At pagkatapos mong i-test ang hypothesis or collect your data, ay pupunta tayo sa step 4. Ang step 4 ay examine the result and draw conclusion. Once a researcher has decided to study and collect the data, it's time to examine this information and draw a conclusion about what has been found. Using statistic, researcher can summarize the data, analyze the result, and draw a conclusion based on the evidence. So, ang step 4 ito ay suriin at gumawa ng conclusion kung tungkol kung ano ang natagpuan mong mga impormasyon. Gamit ang mga statistika, ay maaaring bumuod ang mga data at pag-aaralan ang mga resulta at kumuha ng mga konklusyon batay sa mga ebidensya na iyong nakalap. So, dumako tayo sa step 5. Step 5 is report the result. The final step of psychologists study is report the findings. This often done by writing up the description of the study and publishing the article in academic or professional journal. The result of psychological studies can be seen in peer-reviewed journals such as Psychological Bulletin, the Journal of Social Psychology, Developmental Psychology, and many others. So, verification theory. A verification theory hypothesis implies that an observation is another verified hypothesis is in accordance with the hypothesis. The use of empirical data observe the test or experiment to confirm the truth, the national justification of hypothesis. The scientific belief must be evaluated and supported by empirical data. So, verification theory is isa itong teorya na nagpapahiwatig ng pagmamasid o nagpapatunay na ang mga teorya ay naaayon sa isang teorya. Ang paggamit ng empirical na data ay pagmamasid o eksperimento upang makumpirmahin ang katotohanan at nabibigyan katwiran ang isang teorya. The next is falsification theory. A falsification theory of an hypothesis implies that an observation or another hypothesis opposes the opponent. Falsification theory proposed by Karl Popper is a way for the demarcating science of non-science. It suggests that for a theory that considered as scientific is must be able to test at conceivably proven false. So, ang falsification theory ay mungkahi ni Karl Popper. Ito ay pagpagpeke ng isang nagpapatunay ng isang teorya ay sumasalungat sa isang teorya. Kung ang verification theory kanina ay naaayon sa isang teorya, ang falsification theory naman ay sumasalungat sa isang teorya. Science as a social endeavor. Science as a social endeavor, like all other human activity. The science is a social endeavor means the application of science to figuring out how the world exists and originated. Another dimension of science is a social endeavor. It is solve various problems, satisfy various needs, and sustainable development of society with help scientific knowledge. Ang science as an endeavor ay ang pagsisikap ng isang lipunan ng lahat ng iba pang artibilidad ng tao, at ito ay ang panlipunang pagsisikap upang malaman kung paano ginawa ang mundo, kung ano ang mayroon at nagmula. Ang pagsisikap sa lipunan upang malutas ang iba't ibang problema ay pangangailangan at napanatili ang pag-unlad ng lipunan sa tulong ng kaalaman ng isang social endeavor. So that's all. Thank you for watching and listening. Have a nice day, everyone.